like it says in Ecclesiastes. Hi, Greg. That it says in Ecclesiastes something about before the timbers shake and the lights go dim, and before we get so old that we're not working, our body's falling apart, our minds failing us, we better take this stuff to heart and wrestle it, reason with it. And so right now is the best time to ever engage the difficult matters and say, let's be able to confront them with a full disclosure, not, we got to protect this, we got to protect these writings, we got to protect this vicar of Christ. Gosh, we're not protecting anybody. Well, who is Yahweh and what did he say?
Messiah is the word. He's not going to change the word that brings us salvation to, say that they're his. He doesn't say that they're his. He just says what his father said. His father said, obey my commandments. So what did he say? Obey my commandments. And that's just precisely spoken. If that's just the way that I look at it, because he's the word, he can't change the word because the word brings the salvation. That's Messiah.
Anyway, Greg, you have anything to say, or are you just logging in, or?
I just want to add too, like when you think about mentioning the word, he's the word, and I think like a lot of folks have got like this Platonic philosophical idea of what that means. And what I mean by that is, like, if you look up the word logos in the Greek and the concepts of Plato, and they actually, push out a lot of what Christianity teaches regarding the word. And we've viewed that from our Greco-Roman ideas and ways of thinking, but from the Hebraic thought, it was never really understood like that. It was, the debar, and the word that became flesh was that spoken word of a coming Messiah, a Redeemer, one that would come and restore everything that was lost. And essentially that's how he was the word, in the fact that he was manifest in a human being. And just like we are a manifestation of the word as a human beings as well, we're not, God-man in a sense of how it's been delivered to us, but we are human beings, and he was a human being in 100% every single way you can imagine. But he lived out the Father's word and became such as that word. And, when it talks about in Colossians all about his resurrected body. He became essentially deified in that resurrected body. He was the firstborn of all creation to rise from the dead, to never be to die again. And that's the archetype of how, we are to live our lives, that he's our brother. So we live in that respect of, we are that word, like Paul says, you are written epistles. And, we are that word, and that we follow the instructions of the Father. And we do that by following the Son, in a sense that even Paul, it's like, you're not following them specifically, but you're following their example as to how to honor and worship the Father in spirit and truth, and not in the flesh. And so a lot of people just want to worship God in the flesh, or some kind of idol, or some respect, but it's, the very character and nature of Yahweh is his 22 letters, his words. Our minds are just like gardens with seeds of the word that gets planted in there, and it grows. That spirit, like the Messiah said, your word is spirit, your word is truth. And that's the Holy Spirit. His word that's what's set apart. That set apart word. And that's how, in that sense, we are the word in the flesh. We are the body of Messiah. We are Mashiach. We are the anointed ones, children of light, the light of the world. So I think with that comprehension of understanding, like, from a Hebraic perspective, that he's not like some kind of God-man type word. In a sense, he existed somewhere when he was in heaven. Like, how old was he before he pre-existed? And was he circumcised? Did he have to get recircumcised? Did he have to relearn everything when he came back to earth? So it's just, when you walk those thoughts all the way through. It just doesn't make sense. So, he had preeminence, not pre-existence, preeminence, and we've all been given. Paul talks about that all the time. It's like, foreordained before the foundation of the world. That's that he had preeminence, and we have been chosen in him before the foundation of the world in that same sense. So it's, we don't have to think with these Greco-Roman philosophical ideas. It's just that, hey, the Father had this plan in his mind, knowing that all this would happen, and then that plan eventually was manifested in the person we know as Yahushua HaMashiach. And that's how, we've been shown how to live as the second Adam, not like the first Adam who disobeyed and suffered the consequences that passed on to all, but we follow the second Adam who obeyed and was unjustly crucified and was risen because death could not hold him because he was righteous. And so that's our goal, our manifestation of how we can walk righteously, that death can't hold us because we followed the path, the circumcision, of hearts, and the mikvah, the washing, the cleansing, sacrifice of our lives for one another.
I should, based on one thing you're saying here, add to that. If we lived with a certain attitude of expectation, you mentioned how, Yeshua, when he rose from the dead, they couldn't kill him, never to die again. Well, that's part of the Resh Shin Tov mentality, because he's already koofed out, Zadi koofed out of the grave. Well, what would it look like if we had that mentality?